Planning Creates Success, Chapter 7. In Chapter 6, we explore the timeline and how it was important to have a timeline for the implementation of the integrated library system, from going to the legacy system to the ILS. Because every time you face a project such as implementation of a new IT system, information technology system, you have to have a plan, you have to have a timeline, because only by planning you can get from point A to point B. Of course, you also need a plan for the library. So in today's lecture on Chapter 7, we will see two kinds of plan: the strategic plan and the technological plan, or the technology plan. Okay, the strategic plan is a long-term plan, while the technology plan will be a medium to short-term plan, let's say from at the most 3 years. Why? Because in terms of technology, and we know that as a fact, technology changes pretty fast. So it is almost impossible to plan down 10 or 20 years ahead of time. Probably in the Middle Ages that was possible, because technology and information technologies didn't change at all. So you could have a plan, a long-term plan in terms of a technology plan. But nowadays, a technology plan may be 1, 2, or 3 years, or even at the most, I would say 5 years. In the case of the strategic plan, and that's what we're going to discuss first, you can have, the library will have a strategic plan that will go a little bit longer. The strategic plan is the business tool to seek approval from those who have the power to approve or reject the project. And your tech plan serves as a roadmap for the selection and implementation of hardware, software, wiring, and other components needed to operate the ILS. So we have two plans here. The first plan, the strategic plan, and the other plan is the technology plan. Okay? Please do not confuse both. The strategic plan, it provides a significant opportunity to unify management, staff members, stakeholders, and customers. When we talk about customers, we're talking about patrons, we're talking about the community that we serve, that our libraries serve, through a common understanding of where the library is going. And here the key, where the library is going, we are referring to our vision. The library must have a vision, so we know where we are going. And that vision, in order to be successful, it must be shared by the community. It must be shared by management, it must be shared by staff, it must be shared by stakeholders, and also it must be shared by the community, by our patrons. How everybody can work to achieve a common purpose, and how the library will measure and report its progress and levels of success. Of course, because the library is a customer-oriented organization, our focus always has to be the customer, the patron, the community that we serve. This is true for school libraries, for public libraries, and for academic libraries too, and for specialized libraries. The difference in strategic planning as opposed to long-range planning is that the library is projecting its services and collection far into the future. So when we do a strategic planning, we're going to see how our services and our collections will fulfill the vision and the mission of the library into the future. Libraries need to look beyond the 3 to 5 year time frame and visualize past that horizon. So a strategic plan, it goes over the 3 and 5 year time, up to even 8 years, 10 years, or 15 years. Okay, one word of warning: a strategic plan has a built-in capacity to be changed. So a strategic plan is a dynamic plan, meaning that if the conditions change, we certainly can change the plan. Okay, and that is very important. A plan is never to be a static plan, because it will lead to failure. Any strategic plan have to have the capacity to change, and a strategic plan is a dynamic plan. The library must envision its business of serving patrons to 10 or more years into the future. So we have to have a plan that have a vision of 10 or more years into the future. A strategic plan. Technology, of course, is intertwined in nearly all aspects of library services and delivery of information. We are in the age of information and knowledge. Okay, this is where we are now. So information has become the most important commodity. Okay, that's that cliche of saying information is power in today's world is more truth than ever. And that's why libraries are at the center, are at the hub of any community, the school community, the community, the town community, the city community, and of course the university community. We are at the center of this era because we are in the information era. Remember that one of the functions of the library is providing access to information, okay? But now, of course, in this age, when we have so many sources of information, it's not only about providing access to information, but it is about also evaluating information sources. So our patrons, our community have the best information available. Okay, successful strategic plans are the ones that are developed by planning committees. Of course, any strategic plan to be successful have to be developed by a planning committee, which will have among his members a representation of the community. Okay. A strategic plan covers all aspects of planning for the library's future, such as staffing levels, types of services needed, allocation of funds, building upgrades, etc. Choose the planning committee very carefully. A presentation about the ILS to the planning committee should contain, of course, if you want to present your plan, this is what you have to have there. A description of the ILS and its benefits, the proposed cost, and possible sources of funding. It is important to provide a complete picture of the project to the planning committee so that they are informed about all costs involved. And the ILS, the Integrated Library System, will be a component in the strategic plan. Okay, it won't be the whole plan, it will be a component of the strategic plan. If you go to page 69 in the text, you will find an example of a strategic plan. The goals, outcomes, and objective must be stated clearly and concisely, and the objective should be measurable. Okay, you have to be able to measure those objectives in order to accomplish a goal, in order to know where you are in terms of your plan. Now, it is also important that we pay attention to the technology plan, here the tech plan. Why? Because our next assignment, homework number 2, will be on developing a technology plan. A tech plan covers the goals and objectives in improving library services through computer equipment and software. Okay, that's what we have in terms of the technology plan. Planning for the future of technology means planning for the library itself. Why? Because again, technologies or information technologies and communications, ITCs, are intertwined with libraries. We cannot divorce one from another. This is an association. This is a marriage that cannot be dissolved. They cannot, in today's world, we cannot conceive a library without ITCs, Information Technologies and Communications. A tech plan should be viewed as a vehicle to improve library services and should be a formal planning process. Why? Because funding is limited and you don't want to start buying hardware and software unless you have a plan, unless you have a vision in terms of where you want to have your library, at what level of technology and services for the community, electronic services for the community you want to be in the near future. Okay, so you have to have a plan because you have limited funding, and the plan will help you to get funding too. It is important that the library strategize how it is going to spend its funds. You see, you have to have a plan on how you're going to spend your funds. Allocate staffing and training. Training is very important if you want to upgrade your technology. To incorporate new technology in operating the library and serving its patron base. The whole idea of upgrading technology in terms of hardware, output and input devices, software, and of course training for the staff is that we will be able to serve better our community. The technology plan, the tech plan, should cover 3 to 5 years into the future. In my opinion, this is even a too long of term, meaning that I think technology is changing so fast that having a plan in terms of having a technology plan looking 3 to 5 years ahead of time, it may be too long. Okay, and we have seen what is happening to the libraries. We have seen how much money libraries, public libraries, academic libraries, and school libraries have spent in the last 10 years in terms of technology, that it's today what? It's legacy technology. It's outdated technology. Okay, and there's nothing we can do. We wasted that money. So a technology plan, in my opinion, should be a very short-term plan. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years at the most. Again, this is my personal opinion. Okay? And why? Here's the reason. Because this may be difficult to do because technology changes so rapidly. Okay? Remember to get input from the library community, library staff, stakeholders when writing your technology plan. The technology plan to ensure a successful implementation or implantation, the plan includes all the components that need to be in place for the ILS to operate. Okay, so if you are going to have a technology plan and you are also implementing an ILS, they have to go hand by hand. One thing cannot be divorced from the other. Of course, you will have to have technology plans even after you have implemented your integrated library system. Okay, because hardware and software have to be upgraded, networks have to be upgraded, internet service have to be upgraded, etc., etc., etc. These components include network, security of the network, equipment room, cabling, electricity, uninterrupted power supply, one width of the internet connection, computer workstations, servers, operating systems, data recovery and backups, peripherals, and staff training. These are some of the things we need to have spelled out in our technology plan. Writing a strategic plan and a technology plan takes time, and you have to have a plan to plan. That sounds incredible, but it's true. how much time you have for planning, how are you going to make your plan, who is going to be in your plan. You even have to have a timeline to develop the plan, and then of course you will have a timeline for the plan itself. Investing in the time to plan at the beginning will ensure a successful purchase and implementation in the end. In the next lecture, we are going to explore a technology plan, or we're going to see the criteria for developing a technology plan, because I'm very interested that you understand and learn on how to develop a technology plan. And then I will provide instructions for homework 2, which is developing a technology plan.